How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing now that my mic's on? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here all night. You guys and this mic. I was so worried about that sound being too loud on the countdown and the intro. I tried turning it down a little bit and I totally forgot to turn the mic on. So, AM, what's up, man? Tom, AN, Brian, BB. What's up, guys? How we doing tonight? Everybody have a good day? Everybody have a good week? I know Thomas didn't have a good week. So I wanted to do something a little different today with my drink. I had somebody tell me that for some reason they thought this wasn't a real drink. And I just wanted to show you, I didn't mix it yet. So I just got the pineapple juice. And, I mean, there's more pineapple juice. As you can see, it already started changing color. Let me put this down and see if it'll... Yeah, there we go. You can see the green and the blue. So, obviously, you can tell I use more liquor than pineapple juice. It's supposed to be 50% pineapple juice, but it's probably more like 35% or so. But, yeah. Everyone always asks me what the green drink is. Well, you know, give her a little mix. Give myself a little pineapple or cherry on top, and we're good to go. Let me put this light back up here so I look nice and pretty for you all. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Alrighty. Let me move this. Put this right here. I feel like it'd be better right there. It'd be easier for me to see just in case I need it. Jag, what's up? How we doing? Okay. Alrighty. Had a good week until today when I decided to break a few rules and paid for it, but I stuck to the big rule of max daily loss and shut it down. That's the best rule. I did that on... Let's take a look. I did that on, was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. Let's go to the calendar, check it out. Yeah, it was Tuesday. But, that is delicious. I made that one good. Okay, so we took 7 trades on Tuesday. Let's go take a look at Tuesday. We have one winner at, how many losers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losers. I mean, granted, 2 of them we took smaller size on. And my max loss any given day is $75, right? I'm making my max loss 3 trades. So if I lose 3 trades, something's not right. It's time to call it a day. So theoretically, that should be $75 or less. Right? Because if I lose 3 trades with the current risk of $25, obviously there could be some slippage in there, but it shouldn't be more than that. But yeah, I decided to come back in the afternoon because these were actually afternoon trades, SPG and GNW, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at the charts. So SPG, it was like 11:15. Let's see if we can open this up. There we go. So yeah, it was like mid-afternoon, but as you can see, we ended up getting stopped out on that one. And I'm almost positive that the GNW trade was an afternoon trade. Let's see. Yeah, that one popped up in the afternoon. We were, and I remember this one now. I was so frustrated because we put an order out at the bottom tick here at 223 and we just didn't get filled on the bid. And it came all the way back up, and this was just stupid of me because the rule with the new strategy that I've been implying, and I think this might have been the trade that kind of put me over the edge with it, was if it makes a break and it gets to your take profit and you don't get filled, you got to just take it off break even and just be done with it, right? Because obviously it didn't work out the way you wanted. But I think in my head I was saying, well, we kind of got back in as this was pretty much giving back most of the move. We were looking for this previous resistance down here. VWAP was coming up as well to kind of be support. That's why we put our order there in the first place. We just didn't get filled. And I think I was like, well, maybe we'll get sloppy seconds. This was one of those afternoon ones. Maybe it'll just give it all back and fade the rest of the day. That was the idea. But unfortunately, we were wrong and we let it go against us. And we stopped out high of day for yet another loss. David, what's up, man? How you doing? Hello? Live to trade another day. That is very true, Thomas. But yeah, that's how I was on Monday. But look, we lost $95 just on Tuesday. And I believe we still ended up green on the week. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. How to X out of there we go. Okay. Date, let's see, July 27th to the 31st. Let's see how we did overall here. So yeah, we still ended up green, even with a losing winning percentage. So that's always a good sign, right? If we're not even at 50% win percentage and we're still in the green, that's kind of a good sign. As you can see, look at all these losses to start the week. It was just brutal. I couldn't find a winner. And this is when I first started trading like this, and I can't tell you enough. While each of these losses were happening, I was still just happy. Like, I was just happy knowing that I was in control of my trading. It was like the first time I felt that way in a long time. I knew that I wasn't in a position where I was struggling to get full size because I entered with full size. I knew that if I really had conviction on a trade or felt like I had a really good entry, I could even add to it. And everything felt so structured. It felt so real. It felt like I was finally being consistent with something. But then as the week went on, I realized that, yeah, my entries were being consistent. And now there's a whole different side of me now that I don't have to worry about my entries. My entries they've been on point this week. All of my entries look great. And if you go through and we can look at all of these charts, all of my cuts on the loss of it all look great. Like, there's nothing wrong with how, like, let's just take a look at some of these losers. Every single one of them will look the same, right? This was a partial winner, but as you can see, I got back into this one, and we cut it at high of day. And I got into this, and it started to go high of day. I guess we were using the pivot here, or break even. That's what we were using because it came down like I had said. And I had already had this rule, and I just broke that rule on the other one. So I guess technically that wasn't the best example. There's the other AMKR, so we'll skip that one. So TUP. Same thing. There you go. So we got in. The entry looks great. We're looking for the weakness on the backside. It faked us out, went high of day, and we stopped out. Unfortunately, that one kind of laughed at us the rest of the day. And let's see, HUIA. I'm not even going to look at that one. That one was just such a... I mean, we can look at it if you guys really want to, but it was just such a crap trade. I believe this is the one we just looked at. Yeah, SPG. Again, looking to get on the backside here, and it faked us out. Went high of day, stopped us out, and then it ended up going. Let's see. Just keep scrolling through these real quick. GNW, we looked at that one. LB. I think this was another frustrating one. I think this one ended up... No, this one ended up going higher too. Oh yeah, that's right. And then we got it later on with the higher time frame. So look, here's the entry I'm talking. This was the loss. It started to come down. We got in, looking for the backside to come back down to this previous resistance or VWAP or anything. Just decided to consolidate up here, and it went higher, and we cut. So we actually got some pretty good slippage on that one. But then we just waited. Look how patient we were on this one. We ended up using the 5-minute on this one. Waited for a 5-minute entry. As you can see, there was some nice consolidation here. And once it broke that area, we jumped back in, risking high of day, and we got a nice move back down. So I was really happy with being able to wait for that, and it ended up being a good trade. And to me, this is a good trade too, right? No pullback, no money. That's just this. The whole beginning of this week. I even think if Brian's still in here, he didn't just say hi and run. He'll tell you that I feel like Brian had more cuts this week than I've ever seen him have. It was just one of those weeks where things just consolidated and went higher instead of giving us that pullback. I mean, there was a lot of trades that worked normally, and Brian takes 20, 30 trades a day. But for someone like me who's only taking 3-5 trades a day, it really kind of, you start to feel itemized, right? You feel like, okay, I picked the 3 or 4 or 5 trades today that just didn't work, right? It sucks. And that's the advantage of trading so much, is you're giving yourself up to the power of numbers instead of, focusing so much on just one trade. And there is some awesomeness behind that. So up here on WYNN, this chart's going to look good. I didn't put them in yet. We can actually do that together. But if we go and take a look at it, the cut looks good, but my entry wasn't the best. I was using the 2-minute for the trigger on this one, and if we scroll in a little bit, you'll see I got in premature. And if you watch my video today, you know that I was kind of upset with myself. The trigger was over 72.67, and it didn't get there. And we jumped in thinking that the $0.50, because it jumped through the $0.50, tried to come back down through the $0.50, and then went back through the $0.50, and that's when I got in. I said, okay, this thing wants to go. We're going to just jump in assuming that we're going to just get that measly extra 10 to 12 cents to get through this candle. And as you can tell, we were wrong, and we ended up getting stopped at high of day. So if we were looking for confirmation, this trade would have ended up working. It would have been a really painful trade to be in, but we finally would have came down, made the low, and the first time it breaks that new candle is right here. Right? So we could have got in, we would have had an entry of 72.07 around that area. Would have tried to go up. Don't know if we would have taken any off there, but ended up coming back down, trying low of day. Doesn't quite get there. 53 was the low. It got to 63 here. And then it worked its way back up all the way up to 72.65. So 72.07, risking 72.53. So you're talking 60 cents. 60 cents from 07 would be 67, and that's right about where you got. So you would have got 1R, and you didn't even get the VWAP. So that obviously would have been the correct entry. The wrong entry was the one I took. I broke my rules, and I paid for it. So that one was that. The other ones today were pretty nice. Piton. We took this one, I believe, on the 1 minute because it was working kind of fast. Let's zoom in here. Yep. 1 minute came up. We were looking for the break of this candle. We actually got a little bit under because it broke down so fast. It went through 55 and it went right through 50. Our entry was actually at 49. And this one just kept on working right from the get. As you can tell, we realized that the bottom here at 68, we were looking, we had an order out at like 67, 80, 82 or something like that. And it just didn't want to bust through 68. And I didn't take 90% here because we weren't at 1R yet. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to take half the position off just in case it wants to bounce and not come back down. And as you can tell, it did bounce. So we did read that right. And thankfully we still had 50% of our position because it did come back down. And I was so proud of myself. This was actually a pretty big moment for me here in Piton, this morning, because I saw this previous resistance here and kind of one here, mainly this one, right? You saw the 2 times it clicked here. So I realized there wasn't really anything in this area until there. And I told myself, I want that area for another cover. And it came down, it bounced off VWAP. You can tell by this candle, it finished up here. It bounced off VWAP and came all the way back up. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. And I said, worst case scenario, if it goes back through here, then we can start questioning it. And then if it comes through here, I would just stop out break even. Like I was happy with stopping out break even on this trade for the remainder of the shares. It would have sucked. It wouldn't have been a better winner, but so be it. And I just told myself, I was like, I'm not going to let VWAP affect. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm not going to let it affect me. And sure enough, I let it do its thing. And then sure enough, it shot right through there and it came right down to this area. It started to bounce. So we took it off. And we took off 50% of the 50%. So we were actually left with 25% of our position. And I was actually trying to get this to make this move, just to come back down in, maybe even test low of day if it wanted to get there, give us the full V. And I started to kind of trail it down. I had this pivot first, and then I got rid of that one, and then we came down to, this wasn't here yet. I guess it was this one. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I know VWAP was here. We were way down here. I said, okay, well, it's got VWAP. It has this pivot point here. If it really wants to get under it or above it, it has to go through that and VWAP. So I think that was my idea, was I'll just put I put it at 82. We ended up getting filled at 87. The high this candle was at 88. But even if I kept trailing this thing, we still would have got stopped out. So in hindsight, it wouldn't have mattered, but I was still just a little upset in the moment because I don't know. I feel like that wasn't a great, I should have just, the rule is after I take my 90%, to put the stop at break even and just let the trade go, right, the rest of the day. And as you can tell, it wouldn't have worked out in this trade particularly, because this ended up going all the way back up towards right where my entry was. So it would have been very frustrating if I would have left this all day, see it come all the way down low a day, and then go all the way back up there. So that's why I think I want to put a trail of some sort. I'm still figuring out what to do with that remaining part of my position. I don't know what the best way. I don't know if I want to pivot out of it. I don't know if I want. I mean, obviously, pivot out would have got stopped out here if we were. Even if we didn't get stopped out here, this definitely would have been a pivot area, right? So we would have put it there, and we definitely would have got stopped out here on this candle. So I don't know the best way to try to get the most out of the position. I mean, even if I use some kind of a trailing stop, this still would have stopped me out. There's no way I'm going to set my trail big enough to withstand a move like this and then catch this move. It's just not going to happen. The only way you're going to catch something like this is if you set your stop at your either high of day, at your average, and then as it makes this move, you're just happy with taking it when it's down here. But the whole point of it is when it's down here, you're still looking for this thing to just keep going. So I guess maybe when you start to see this thing bullish, I mean, I guess you would end up taking it when it breaks above like these key levels, because you can see, try to use it a few times here, and then I tried to use it again here. So when it breaks through here, I guess that could be like, but the thing is, you have to sit here all day and you have to pay attention for 10% of your position. And that's, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to find a way, to me, what's best to just let it go. And to me, I think let it go. Okay, sorry. But I think the best way, really, this would have been very disappointing. What was the high of this candle? 68.49, and that was our entry, wasn't it? 49. So it literally would have stopped us out right here at high of day at our entry. And I'm not sure if I'd rather just be okay with that, or if I'd rather just set a trail. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And yeah, like Brian said, there was lots of cuts this week. There was. It was just a ton of cuts. So, okay. What was the other trade? AMD. We traded AMD today. Long. Look at us go. Okay, so this was actually a 2-minute trigger, I want to say. And I'm sure you guys are going to ask me, how am I choosing what time frame to trigger off of, and we can get to that. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was in the Discord with Devin. I'm not blaming Devin. I'm the one that hit the button, but I was a little upset at myself for listening to Devin, because I definitely could have made more money off of this thing. Sorry, I spilled a little. Now, very happy with the entry. Very happy with just being crazy patient. You guys are only seeing these errors. Did you see this one over here? Up here? So this thing came up. It was coming, and I loaded up 80%. We only had, how many shares? Was it 39, 38, 46. So I loaded up 36 shares so that I would keep 10, just to try to be somewhat relevant for any kind of a move. And again, I always tell everyone, if you're that worried about the share size, just add a zero. Just add a zero to everything, and it scales, right? Everything I'm doing now is not going to change, even if I added 2 zeros. It's all the same. It all scales. It's all relevant. Whatever. People ask me all the time, why are you trading such small share size? How does that cover commissions and fees and all that stuff? And I'm like, well, hey, even with this small share size, I'm still making $50 a day. $50 a day, 5 days a week. That's $250. That's how. And some days I make more. There's obviously some days I lose, right? So, I mean, the key is to try to get consistent at making $50 a day, and that's what I'm trying to do. If I can start to consistently make $50 a day, then I can scale it up, right? I can just bump it to instead of risking 25 a trade, I risk 50. If I'm risking 50 a day, now I'm making $100 a day. And if I bump it to 100, now I'm making 200 a day. My goal right now is to have 1R, or 1R is my risk, right? Obviously, it's what R is risk. And my goal each day is to make 2R. If I can make 2R every single day, only risking 1R each trade, I'm pretty happy with that, knowing that I'm not going to lose more than 3R any given day. So there can be days where I catch a killer move, like I'm going to show you here on AMD. I'm going to pop out the calculator here in a second. I could have made much more off of AMD, much more than 1R. I'm not just going for 1-to-1. There's going to be trades that you see where I could have made much more. I could have made 3 to 1, 4 to 1. It really all depends on your entry and where you're convinced that this stock can go, right? If I was playing to VWAP on this one, I would have made, I think it was 3. We'll pop the calculator out. We'll figure it out. But the other answer too, to where am I getting my, or what time frame am I using for my triggers? And a lot of times it depends on the speed. It really depends on the speed, but this thing, I mean, this was just beautiful. Look at this thing. We got 10:15. It had to be this candle, right? Yeah, the 10:15 candle. Look at this thing. It was actually the 16 candle, so it actually gave you a little bit more with just even more volume. So if you really combine these two, look at what it looks like on the two. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Look at that volume bar. So 14, so it actually clicked over, so it was 2 separate ones. So unfortunately, it wasn't just one huge volume bar. It ended up being 2 separate ones. But look at that volume compared to the rest, right? You get the big move down. You're extending away from VWAP. This is right off the scanner. Pull it up, and you see this big old volume bar, and it starts to come back up. So now we just need some kind of confirmation that this thing wants to continue back up. So how are we doing that? You could have entered this on the 1 minute. It would have been a little bit more risky, but you see this big volume come in, and then it starts to come up. You could have got in at 75.62, right above this candle. And that would have been a much better entry than what I got. 75.62, we ended up at 75.91. So you could have had an extra 30 cents in there. But when it's a quick move like this, I don't mind using the 1 minute. I'm not going to lie. The reason I use the 2 minute on this one was because I came straight from the win trade. Let's see. We entered this at 10:19. The win trade we ended at 10:15. So I was probably talking to myself, explaining what happened, why I was mad at myself or whatever, and then we literally clicked over, saw AMD on the scanner, and we saw it happening. We were already on the 2 minute, which if you want to be more convinced about an entry, go to a higher time frame. Let's see what the 5 looks like, just out of curiosity. So in theory, on the 5 minute, your entry would have been above this candle at 76.27, but look, I mean, it still worked. Really, the lower the time frame with this, the more look at you doing 2 things at once. But the more convinced you want to be, the higher the time frame. The more risk you want to take, lower the time frame. It's really that simple when it comes to this strat. And what I'm trying to do is, the quicker the move, the more volume a move has, the lower the time frame I'll go. Because I feel more convinced that you get the elasticity, you get more volume. It's just more of what I'm used to when I was trading 112. And I really think that you just get that rubber band effect more often when you get more volume and the move is a lot quicker. But if the move's a lot slower, per se with WNN, or if we go back to like one of the other charts, like look at the volume difference in this, right? We were trading 1 million every 2 minutes on AMD. Here we're only trading 60 to 90,000. So that was why I went from the 1 minute to the 2 minute. Probably should have went to the 5 minute here on win. It probably would have made this trade a little bit easier to see. Because as you can see, our first entry wouldn't have been anywhere until that same entry down here at the bottom, right? It would have been above this candle, which would have been a little higher. I think the other entry was 72.07. This would have been 72.14. So not that much higher, obviously. Still would have gave us that scare and still would have worked out. But you see what I'm getting at. That's really all it is. The slower the trade, the higher the time frame that I'm looking for a trigger. And that's all it is. But AMD, this was a good one. Let's pop the calculator out real quick. Take another drink real quick. Hiya, hiya, hiya. Day trade operator. I thought you were, I'm not going to lie, you kind of blended in with garage day traders. 50 to 1,000 witnessed today in this contract. I'm confused. Mr. Day trade operator. Chilling in a raid. Yeah, he's playing Escape to Tarkov. Is that one? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's pull out the calc. The old calcy calc. Does this look right? Oh, pull it up a little. Okay. So low a day here. Oh, it's going to keep doing that. Let's put it over here. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Okay. So low a day, 75.36. Our entry, 75.91. So 75. Oh, let me turn my num lock on here. Hold on. I was playing a game as well where I turn it off. I actually I needed to write a script to turn it off because whatever, the game is stupid. But okay, 75.91 minus 75. What did I say? 36. Yeah, 75.36. So we get 55 cents is our risk, right? We're risking 55 cents. So if we go all the way to the highest this got today at 78.03, which oh, it actually didn't. Yeah, that was as high as I got. I was so upset because all I needed was 78.10 to get the 50. I was P&L trading so hard at the end of this trade. I was moving my stop up. I was accepting the risk. I was keeping it tight because I was just so close to the 2R for the day, and I needed 78.10. It gave me that poke through 78.03, and I was like, oh, you crapper. But anyways, zoom way in here. So 78.03 minus our average at 75.91, and then we divide that by the amount there. So almost 4R was max on this. So if we take, that's what I'm saying. So if we have a $25 risk and we somehow waited until this area and we top ticked it after our entry, we could have made close to $100 only risking 25, right? That would have been pretty sweet. But where I was upset with myself is we could have at least got an extra, let's see, because I said I wanted 80 and we took 55. So let's do that 35 cents times, what was it, 36 shares. So right there, that was an extra 1260, and that would have put us, right, that's almost half an R for what we're risking. Add a zero to that. It's 126 bucks, however you want to look at it. But that's half an R that we missed out on just because we got impatient, just because we got a little skittish, because it started to squeeze, and I'm not going to lie, the SPY, I wonder if we type the SPY if it'll keep, okay. So let's look at the actual candle here. The SPY was getting pretty much, it looked just like this. So on the 1026 candle, this is what I saw. It started, the candle where it squeezed on AMD right here, you saw 1024, the SPY was doing the exact opposite. So at any point in time, I thought that after the squeeze to where we were, because it started to stall. If you watch my video of the live trade, it started to stall right here. And I was looking at the SPY and I'm like, this thing's been following the SPY all day. I'm not sure why this is squeezing and the SPY's not. This thing's probably about to tank to try to come back down. And so I took it off, and Devin was in my ear too saying, hey, this thing's probably going to start coming back down. It was right over the $0.50, and it was really struggling. It got up to 60. It kept struggling. And I said, if it breaks 60 and starts to head back down towards 50, as I'm watching the SPY go down, then so be it. I'm just going to take off my 90%, which was actually more like 80%. And so that's what I did. And then, like, I want to say it was like 5 seconds after I hit it, this thing shot right up to where I wanted it. And I was mad at myself. So could have made a full half R right there. Just if I was just an extra 5 seconds patient. Because if you watch the live trade, you see it. It just shot right up there. So it would have been almost impossible to not get it at that point. So that's where I was a little frustrated with myself, being amazingly patient with the remaining shares here. I couldn't have been more happy with myself. I let it go and I saw this area here, and I thought it was going to be used as resistance, but it shot right through, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, you know what, let's just see if this thing wants to keep going. It's AMD, it's on a hot streak. It was every time the SPY was like really going down, I mean, this thing was trying to follow it, but it was kind of holding its own. Like even in here, this whole area, the SPY started coming back down. Like, let's take a look at the SPY again. Look at what the SPY did in here. It kept trying to go back down the low a day, where AMD just kind of consolidated. And it was just saying, hey, I don't want to go down as much as the SPY. And so I felt more confident. I felt more convicted that the remaining shares we could get higher. Because if there was any turn of the SPY to go to the upside, or even just kind of consolidate a little bit higher, that this was going to really go. And as you can see, it did. And I felt like I really managed the second part of that trade pretty well. And yeah. So, all right, let me catch up and chat here. Changing time frames to find a clean chart is always nice. That's true. That's why I don't like the 1 minute chart. It's just so busy. I don't like it like at all. I mean, you can get chopped out so easy, but it can give you some really good entries on these types of moves. That's the only good thing about it. But like when you're looking, like, I don't know how people can make trades in this. Like if all the shares that are getting traded when the chart looks like this to me, I'm just so confused. I'm like, what are these guys doing? I just don't get it. But hey, 90%. Do you only watch one chart's time frame during your trade? For example, I have up 2 and 3 time frames when I enter a trade. I will scroll through them, like I just mentioned a little earlier, to find what I think is the best entry. But once I'm on that entry, like I already have the trade mapped out in my head. When I get into the trade, I already have like a general take profit area that I'm looking for. Like I said, when I got into this trade, I was looking for this key area here. There really wasn't anything in between there that I felt really too worried about. Plus, I'm not really looking to get out of a trade this close to my entry anyway. So I'm really looking for the general target area, and then I'm looking for major support resistance lines there. And then ultimately, I'm looking for VWAP, and I'm looking for it to go through VWAP if it really wants to. I also like to draw the fibs. It's something that I started to do again. So if we draw all the fibs here, where will we start this move? I mean, technically it started from up here. I don't want to go all the way to the highs, but I mean, this will just give you a general idea. But as it's coming up, usually the 50 and the VWAP are pretty close together in my experience. Every time I draw the fibs, they're usually pretty close together, and that's usually what I really like to shoot for. And as you can tell, I didn't even make it to the 38 here, which I seem to not be doing, and I need to do that more often, because generally you see these things go right to the 50 a lot of times, and if I'm taking profits before the 38, I really need to kind of check myself a little bit. But any entry that's a good distance away from the 23 and you're getting some take profits above the 30, like in between the 38 and the 50, I would consider that a pretty good trade. But yeah, usually it doesn't really matter. Once I get into the trade, it doesn't really matter what time frame you're in. I mean, yeah, you can scroll out. You can say you entered this on the 2-minute and you're looking, like I have the 9 EMA up here. It's not really a big deal to me. I just like to use it because I use the VWAP that's what I look at the most for the extension. But then if you really start to see an extension away from the 9 on top of the VWAP, then you really know it's extended. And then you get that volume indicator. This thing couldn't have been a better looking reversal, right? I mean, you get the extension, you get the volume. It's all just saying, hey, it's time to go back the other way for a little bit. Even if we want to go lower later, right now we're going back up. So I couldn't have been better. But once you're on the 2-minute, say you get the entry here, and then say you're looking for even more confirmation, you could really just go to the 5 if you really want to, zoom in here on the 5, and then if you really want to, technically, if you really want to, sorry, I'm making fun of myself, above 76.27 here, our entry was down here at 75.91. I could technically hit my button again and risk another 1R basing off high of day just to throw some more shares in there, because now not only did we get the 2-minute trigger all the way down here, now we're getting the 5-minute trigger. We're getting it right in here. So you could be like, okay, this trade's working. Let's add to it. Right? There's no harm in that, and I'm always pondering that, and you can do that on higher time frames. So once you get into a trade, if you want to go up to higher time frames just to see those kind of things, I didn't even look at this on the 15. I don't know what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Not the greatest. I mean, I'm obviously not gonna take a trade after a huge bounce like this over this candle. To me, that just wouldn't make sense. You're too close to VWAP and all that. But yeah, I mean, this ended up being a pretty awesome trade. For what it's worth, I exclusively trade 2-minute charts, generally flip the daily, but trade the 2-minute. And that's the other thing too, is I'm always looking at the daily too. And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty convinced that this thing was going to drop to 75. But like I said, when you pull up the chart, it got pretty close, right? It got to 75.36, but I thought on this move it was going to go down to 75 and try to touch that from yesterday, but it just didn't want to quite get there, and we ended up bouncing from there. So the daily was another indicator on this trade, and that was just more conviction. I mean, this trade was literally picture perfect. Like in hindsight, obviously, looking at all this, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better entry. The only thing that could have made this better is if it literally went to 75 and bounced. That's the only thing that could have made this thing better. I mean, but there was every other sign pointing at reversal. Look how extended this was. Look at the volume that came in. Look at the bottom wick on this candle. And I agree with Brian. I'm more of a 2-minute trader, but sometimes on the 2-minute, you're going to get these big old candles, and it's going to be like a candle like this. And it's like, do you really want to wait for that 2-minute candle to, you're talking about giving all of this move back, just waiting for confirmation. So sometimes if you go down to the 1 minute, as you'll even see here on AMD, they get smaller, right? You get a better, like I said, the smaller the time frame, the higher the risk, because you're going to be that much closer to low of day. So down here, you're getting an entry at 62 when you get in on the break of this candle. But at the same time, now you have more shares because you're closer to low of day. And if for some reason this breaks low of day and you get some crazy slippage, you now have more shares. So like I said, and the odds of it hitting low of day from here versus all the way up here are a lot higher as well, right? So there's just a lot more risk involved, which is fine. If you can tolerate that risk, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I take trades off the 1 minute too. Like I said, this just happened to be one of those times where I already had the 2 minute up, and it just so happened that that's where the entry was, and that's where I ended up taking it. And if this was the 1 minute, I probably would have had no problem jumping into this late, because I would have probably said, well, the 1 minute I'm late, but let's look at the 2 minute. That's probably what I would have done. And I would have said, okay, this looks just as good. Let's jump in. So yeah, 1 minute too fast, 5 minutes too slow, 2 minute just about right for what I do. Yeah, like I said, everyone's going to have a different thing, a different way to look at charts. So GDT said, I've never looked at a 2 minute chart in my life for what it's worth. I used to be that way. I had never looked at anything but a 1 minute chart before. And then I started, this was early in my career. I'm talking like 3-4 months in. And then the first time I looked, I hadn't even looked at a daily yet. But all I did was watch people who used the 1 minute, and they were making tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just use the 1 minute. Obviously it works for them. I remember the first time I looked at the daily, I was just like, holy crap, what is this? And believe it or not, Jared from Live Traders makes a very good, he has a good analogy. And he says on the daily, right, when you step back and you look at the daily, you're imagining yourself up in a helicopter and you're looking down into a forest, right? You can see the whole forest. You're above the forest in the helicopter. Now, imagine jumping out of the helicopter with a parachute into the forest like an idiot. But as you get closer, now you start to kind of zoom in a little bit, right? Now we're starting to see only a group of trees, not the whole forest, right? And that's what we got here, like say 2 weeks back. And then as you get closer, now you only see a couple days, right? Now you only see, and within that group of trees, you only see like 3 or 4, because you're starting to get really close. You're trying to pick out a landing spot, which tree you're going to land in, and hurt yourself significantly. And then as you get a little bit closer, okay, now I'm starting to see the branches of these trees. We're starting to get pretty close. And then you get even closer, right? Oh, whoa, okay, there's a specific tree. I see the tree that I'm going to hit. Now I'm going to start trying to figure out how to land safely. Which one of these branches is going to help break my fall the most? And then you keep on going. Ooh, that branch right there has a bunch of leaves on it, more so than that branch. I'm going to try to land on that branch right there. But you get my point. Vincenzo, are there squirrels? I don't know. Do they paper trade and then lie about it? Anyways, but yeah, that I thought that was a great analogy when I heard him say that. And yeah, I would watch the 10-second if TOS would track that fast. Well, first off, TOS, you need to get rid of that. That thing is just trash, apparently. Well, it's not trash for charts. If you want to use it for the charts, it's fine. Don't trade on it. It's been nothing but horror stories lately. I don't know what Brian was saying why to. What are we saying why to, Brian? Better exits and entries, especially the top. I use 5-second charts for volume. You guys are crazy. I think the 1 minute, and sometimes I even think the 2 minute can be too much noise. Remember earlier I said I don't know how people can trade like this. That's the 2 minute. You go in here and look at that on the 1 minute. How can you trade this? I just don't get it. I can't imagine 10 seconds, 5 seconds. What? You guys are crazy. Got some mullet man in here. In my opinion, you can see it on the chart regardless, but that does depend on the platform. DOS is super fast, updates you so you can see the price action in the last price line. Yeah, the orange line for me, guys, is the last price line. That thing is amazing, especially for what Brian does. I guess for what I'm doing now, it's not as important. It still works, though, especially for exits. because I'm not trying to time the tops or the bottoms with this strategy. But on exits, it can still be very valuable. Like that, I used it, believe it or not, here on this exit because it was going up and it kept trying and it kept trying and it was just stalling. And I saw the last price line; it was squeezing right from the bottom of this candle. It squeezed up from 25 all the way to 60, and then it just stalled and it couldn't get any higher. And it kept trying. It would come down to like 55, 62, 55, 62. Like it kept trying and it wouldn't go higher. So to me, that's an indication that it's probably gonna stop and try to come down lower. You're not always going to be right. You can ask Brian that. You're not always going to be right. Sometimes this thing will just rip in your face, and so be it. But it is a very good thing to have on your chart. It's current. It's literally one. People are like, "What's the best indicator?" MACD. What? Blah 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 blah. The last price line on your chart is technically an indicator. That thing is literally telling you the current price at all times. That thing is moving up and down, up and down, up and down. So you can literally read that thing as it's going up, and you can start to see it hit. It's hitting a ceiling. It's stopping. It's stopping. It's stopping. Well, guess what? The odds are that there's a big seller there, and it's going to stop, and it's probably going to at least temporarily come back down. That's an indicator. People don't understand. This is probably one of the most valuable indicators that there are that I can think of. I mean, yeah, you have your EMAs, you have VWAP, but they're all, just showing you the past. They're accumulating candles from the past and giving you a line on the chart. That last price line is literally giving you up-to-date information on it's basically I always say it's basically the time and sales on the chart. It's basically, I mean, you're not seeing all the green and the red come through, but I had the time and sales up on my chart when I first started trading 112, and I ended up taking it off because I realized over time that this last price line was basically the time and sales. Like if you're watching time and sales and this last price line combined, you basically see the time and sales. The candles themselves and the last price line are the time and sales, right? That's what the time and sales is. The time and sales is literally giving you the data that creates that last price line and the candles. So if you're just watching the candle in the last price line, you're seeing the time and sales. You just have to learn how to actually visualize the time and sales. I mean, you can see it within the candles and this last price. It's just one of, to me, the best indicators that there are. But yeah, anyways. Chris. I love the inside joke. It's going to be forever. No giveaway yet. If we get to 35 viewers, we'll do a giveaway. Hit the like button. Maybe it'll send it to more people, and we can get 35 people in here. If we get 35 people in here, we'll give away some balls, the energy drink. All right, let's catch up. In the higher time frames, I can't see the candle pattern behavior dojis engulfing to make a better decision. It's all hidden inside the higher time frame. Yeah, I mean, you're describing yourself as more of a technical trader, which is completely fine. I'm not going to say what I'm doing isn't technical trading, but I'm still price action trading. I'm still looking for a specific thing to happen. I'm still looking for an extension to happen, and I'm playing the price action based on, like, when I was watching this and it was coming up, you could still read the price action that this thing it wanted more. Like, you could tell. But if this thing was struggling to get to my entry, I'm not just going to take the entry at 75.91 or whatever it was. Yeah, 75.91. I'm not just going to jump in just because it breaks that candle. Like, I'm still reading that price action. But like, if it fought and it really, really, really fought to get up to that point, I'm not just going to jump in just because it just broke that candle. I'm still reading how the trade is flowing per se. All right. Vincenzo. Forgot to mention you. I had a trade today that happened to me where the high of day said it was $9.99 and I was stopped out at 10.02. Yeah, that I don't know what's going on with that. It's got to be the smart route. That's the only thing I can assume. But that's happened to me quite a bit in the last 2 weeks, and it's kind of pissed me off. I don't know if they changed something with their route. I don't know what they did, but it's been doing it to me as well. I've shown it in my videos. You've seen it, where I'm bottom ticking or top ticking candles at prices that never printed, and yeah, it's frustrating. So I feel you there, Thomas. Nothing wrong with that. Got to do what makes sense to you and your strat. For what I do, I don't use candle patterns. It's all the way the price line moves. Yeah. Brian is a beast, guys. That dude he is the Holy Grail. I think he needs to change his name in the ISW chat to Holy Grail, because the reason there is no Holy Grail for us to trade is because he is the Holy Grail. It's that simple. Just stop looking for it, because you can't find it. It's a person. It's not a thing. Why is CMake taking forever to accept my application? Have you kept up with everything they've asked for, Mr. Vang? Usually anyone that has an issue with not getting accepted, it's because they need to send something that they're asking for. And if it is something, or if you don't know what it is, I recommend calling them during business hours, 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern to 5 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, and get them on the phone and figure out why they're not accepting you. Candles will light the way. Instead of watching time and sales, I just set up 5-second charts for volume. I don't know how you do that, AN. I really don't. I can't imagine, I can't imagine watching this candle and this candle on the 5-second. Like, your entry literally, it would make a low at 75.36, and 5 seconds later, this could be at 75.40, and technically that could be a trigger because it broke the previous 5-second candle. I mean, I don't think that's what you're doing, obviously, but I can't imagine watching a new candle every 5 seconds. I would just blow my mind. My confirmation. Oh yeah, I just showed that. Level 2 shows the future, and time and sales confirms it. Oh, biz. I'm only going to say this once. Smash the YouTube algorithm like button. Isn't that what Graham Stephan says? Now, I'm only going to say this once. Level 2 is liar's poker. How many times are you watching level 2 and it's coming up to a key point, and about 2, 3, 4, 5 cents above it, you see a huge order flash, and then it goes right up to that price point because price navigates to liquidity, right? So if that's where all the liquidity is, it's going to go to it. That's supply and demand, supply zones is what they call them, right? So if there's a big supply zone down here and there's a big supply zone here, and they can't break through either, the price is just going to keep going back and forth between them, right? It's going to keep going to those supply zones. So if that person shows up, say 5 cents above the current ask with a huge share size, and it comes up to there, and they were just somebody that was already short, and they're just trying to move the price down. First off, that's illegal. Second off, it happens all the time. And all of a sudden, that order goes bye-bye and squeeze on through, right? So don't always believe level 2. I've seen so many people on YouTube traders, lose money because they're like, oh, look at that bid sizing, or look at that ask sizing. This thing's coming down. And they jump in because they see a big ask sitting there. And then sure enough, it just goes right through. And then they're just like, oh, crap, I got to stop out because I'm 20, 30 cents down instantly. And so, yeah, level 2 is crap. Level 2, I wouldn't even use it if I didn't have it. I would just use level 1. That's all you need. The reason I use level 1 is just to make sure I'm not jumping into some crazy spread. That's really all you need. I use the level 2 because it's there, but I'm really just looking at the top 2 numbers. That's really all I'm looking at, to make sure I'm not, in some kind of crazy spread. All righty. Look at Apple. Yeah, that thing was nuts. That thing took off. Look at this thing. It just never looked back. Wild Wild West here in the afternoon for earnings, and then it just went kablooey. That thing was nuts. What was this, down at 380s, mid 380s, all the way up to 420s? Crazy. What's Tesla been up to? Ooh, ouchie. I'm saying ouchie, and it's still up at 1425. I mean, look at the move this thing's made. Just insane. Remember back when it went up to 1,000 the last time, they're like, man, if this thing ever gets back below like 700, I'm going to load the boat. And then it went back down closer to, if this thing ever gets below 500, I'm going to load the boat. If this thing gets below 400, I'm going to load the boat. This thing went all the way down to 350. And the same people that were saying that over in here, when it went back up, they're like, man, I should have loaded the boat. And now look at it. Thing's nuts. All right. Yes, they asked for my bank statements like 20 days ago. Geez, if it was 20 days, give them a call. There's something going on there. So definitely give them a call and figure out what's going on. There's an old story about Future Trader who got his market signals from an empty Coke can with an antenna in it. Yeah, hey man, everyone's got their edge. As long as you're consistent and profitable and you have good risk management, doesn't matter what your edge is, as long as it does those things. Sorry, I was busy slaying back now. Did you win? Did you escape? Either I have a question. What does i3 and intensity scanner composed of? Just volume? Oh, AM, you were answering my question from earlier. Evan said GDT hello knows Friday. GDT with the old double size that he didn't mean. I thought GDT was going to buy me Escape from Tarkov today, but it didn't happen. I was actually kind of excited. He's been killing it lately. Unless you know how to read it. What, level 2? Get out of here. Level 2's junk. Just like your 1 minute charts. Let's jump them. Let's jump them, Brian. Bit up the like button. I'll get to Sammy. Let me catch up in chat and then I'll answer your question. Yeah, bit up the like button. There's 22 of you in here and only 9 likes. Come on, let's go. I'm only asking for them because I want to do this giveaway. I've been trying for months. To give away some balls. Apparently nobody wants them. Nobody wants my balls. Hi GDT, can you please explain what the i3 is? Sammy, I'll get to it. But if he wants to explain it, then that's fine. GDT needs to up his win percentage. His win percentage is probably like 95% or something crazy. Dude doesn't lose. That's why Brian, man, his profit factor is infinity. Oh, GDT answer it for me. i3 is designed to find high intensity moves that have a high probability of a reversal and give you an alert before it does. I can't explain it any better. That was beautiful. Thank you, Justin. Something that helps reading the tape, have a couple time in sales, make some that send all orders, some that send 200 plus 500 plus 1000, easier to read big orders. Evan, that sounds like you're clogging. How many monitors do you have? I have 5 and I definitely don't have room for that. I just have 3 charts in the SPY up with montages. I don't have time and sales. I don't have anything else up. It uses that one. Gotcha. My daily goal day trading right now is $50. Laugh at me. Do it. Laugh. But if I can consistently make $50 a day, I'm making more money than 90% of people that day trade. Shit, if I just break even, I'm making more than 90% of people that day trade. But my goal is to make 50, and then once I can consistently do that for quite some time, and by quite some time I mean like a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe even a month, I just want to prove to myself that I can be consistent. Because if you're consistent doing something, it doesn't matter what share size you're using. I mean, granted, if you're starting to use some crazy ass share size, then it could matter due to liquidity issues on some certain stocks. But if you're trading 100 shares, if you're trading 1,000 shares, if you're trading even 10,000 shares, it scales pretty well. So if I'm aiming for $50 a day, that could be the same as $500 a day. That could be the same as $5,000 a day. It really just scales. The main point is finding your edge. Use a strategy to benefit that edge that you have. Keep risk management in play and be consistent with it. It really is that simple. But to do that, it's way harder than a lot of people think. And people think that they can just jump around and trade all kinds of different strategies. And I always recommend, Brian recommended this to me, and I agree, to just find one strategy first and master that one strategy. And once you do it and become consistent with it, and actually like that's your bread and butter, you know that any given day that you can trade just the strategy and be profitable, then you can start to kind of venture out and maybe try some new things. And I couldn't agree more. And the end of next month will be 2 years of day trading for me from when I started. And I'm just now finally feeling like I'm more than not only just not a losing trader, but maybe even more than a break-even trader. Like, I'm profitable overall in my trading, but that is like back when I was trading stupid size when I first started. I had some lucky wins here and there. I also had some huge losses. Just scaling up, scaling down, scaling back down even further, scaling back up. Like, there's just so much involved in there. I've never been consistent for probably more than 3 months of something. And GDT actually has a nickname for me, Tinker Tim. And it's true. I have, like, I'll do something for a month and it'll be working, and then I'll have like a week that goes bad, and I just start to tinker whatever my strategy is. I start to make it more difficult, and it gets to a point where you start to tinker with so much and you start to add so much that your strategy is now this complex thing. And you don't even, like, if somebody asked you to explain your strategy, you wouldn't even be able to do it. You wouldn't understand how your own strategy works because you've made it so difficult. And then at that point, you're better just literally wiping it off the, make clean slate, just start over. Like, and I don't want to say that's where I was. Like, the thing is, I've had so many different strategies, but using the same edge. So I have my edge. I just can't figure out the best way to use it. And I think I might finally be there. I think, right? We don't know. We're still there. We just started this last week, and now it's time to go the 3 months, get as many trades in as we can and prove to ourselves that we can be consistently profitable. And the risk management clearly is not an issue because I have set risk every single trade, and I absolutely love that. Just knowing that every time I hit that button, I know exactly what I'm risking. It just, to me, it's such a huge burden lifted off my shoulders. And now let me set something straight too. Like, down the line, I want to use 112 again. I want to be able to look at a chart. I want to use my skills to try to find the tops and the bottoms. And I want to be able to now verify, because if I'm making money only trading the backside, let's go back to the AMD trade. If I can make money by waiting and trading the backside like this, if I'm playing the front side of this move and then I see this, I'm gonna be like, yo, this is my bread and butter right here. I know this thing's about to go, and I can, like, really, I could either hammer it here, and I don't know why I think I might be having a light bulb moment here for the future, but I know that I could probably hammer it here. And then, hey, if this thing wants to go back low of day after it gave us this perfect setup to try to reverse, well, guess what? If this thing goes back low of day, I'm probably not going to be interested in it anymore. And sometimes it does. Sometimes this thing will try, like, maybe even get to like the EMA here or something, and then it'll just fall over and go lower. Like, we don't know what a stock's going to do. I say this all the time. Once you're in a stock, you don't know what it's going to do. You can't control it. You're literally just in the stock. You don't control what it does from there on out. So you're really just along for the ride. So, but yeah, just a little bit of, like, just knowing that if I am playing the front side of something like this and then I see this start to happen, you could really hammer this thing home, right? And you could really scale into this position, add the rest of your shares that you have left that you feel comfortable with risking based off of the low a day there, and see what happens, right? That's all you can do in the stock market, is find an edge that puts you in a high probability situation to make money. And that's where the scanners come in. That's where just experience, screen time, that's where all of those things come together. ISW gives you the plays. Pull it up. You need to sit here. You need to evaluate these charts. You need to look at these charts over and over again, because you're going to start to see the same things happen over and over again. And it's literally screen time. The people that make it are the people that stick around. And that's why risk management is so important, because you got to keep your money. I relate so much to poker. It's like, if you know, or just anything in the casino, if you walk up to the table, if you walk up to any table, poker, craps, blackjack, whatever, even a slot machine, you have money, you can play. You don't have money, they're going to tell you to go away. Why are you sitting at my table? You have no money. Go away, right? Same thing with the stock market. You don't have money, you can't play. So that's why it's so important to protect your capital. All right, let me catch back up. I never actually caught up in the first place. Where did I even stop? Jeez, you guys were talking. I had a guy comment on one of my videos. He was like, "Oh, it feels so good um, to have a breath of fresh air from Ross." It was like somebody that is more relatable to me, where I'm only trying to make 50 to 100 bucks a day, while Ross is making $130,000 a day. And I was just like, "Oh, well, thanks, I guess." What was the come on man for? I love the come on man. Oh, was that because I was talking about your charts? How many monitors you have? You never answered me. If you only got one monitor, I don't know how you do it. Talking to you, Evan. WMT and UPS, what a beast of a day. UPS, I almost traded yesterday. I think, was it yesterday? I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Was it the day before yesterday? The 5 minute. Yeah, oh no. Was it really on Tuesday? It had to be here. Yeah, it was here because it was later in the day. Yeah, it was this move here. I don't remember why I didn't take it, but I don't know. I didn't like it, and it would have worked out. I remember, yeah, I was actually talking to David while this happened, and I think there was another. I think it was FSLY. Yeah, it was making a move at the same time, and I was telling him how I like GPS better than FSLY. And this is a great example. Look at FSLY here. Look at how linear this looks. This is a grinder, right? This thing is just grinding up. But then if we go back to UPS, look at how different that looks, right? Look at the extension. Look at how that looks extended, right? It's not just grinding along. If this thing would have kept going like this, that would have been a grinder. But look how we get nice and extended. And that's what I was looking at. And I don't know, I just didn't take it. Is that the same day? Or was that earning? Oh, yeah, that was it. Okay. Time of sales and level 2 are a must. Screw the chart. What? Okay. There was a guy that he's not on YouTube anymore. He tried to trade with no chart. He tried to trade just using level 2 and time and sales, just to prove that it can be done. And he was using real money. I don't understand why, but he proved that he was using real money, and he was. And okay. You do you, man. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but why? Like, I just don't get it. Show up to the poker table. It's like people showing up to the poker table and saying, "I'm going to beat you without looking at my cards." Whatever. Oh, you go for it. You can put me in tough spots all you want, but I'll give you the goods when I got it. Use all three at Evan to increase the odds of being right. Now don't screw with the chart. That isn't. Don't screw with the charts. Number one. Hey, like I said, if that's your edge, go for it. I need to stop trying to hit home runs. Yeah, I agree with you there, Mr. Vang. Base hits add up. It's a great baseball analogy, just using the home runs in general. But look at someone like Ichiro. The dude almost never hit home runs. The dude got up there, he got base hits, he got on base, he scored runs. If you go up to home plate looking to hit a home run every single time, what are you going to do? You're either going to hit a home run or you're going to strike out. And you're going to strike out way more than you hit home runs, right? You're going to hit a home run maybe 1 out of, I don't know. It depends on how good you are. I was going to say 1 out of 10, but that's probably not even true. It's probably more like 1 out of 30. So if you go up 1 out of 30 and you're trying to hit a home run every single time, you're going to strike out 29 times trying to hit that home run. So that home run, you're only getting 4 bases. In trading, if you're striking out 29 times trying to hit that home run, you better be making 30 to 1 on your money when you hit that home run, right? Just to break even. So yeah, I always like that analogy because you shouldn't be trying to hit home runs. Base hits. That's why I like the R system, because you have a set risk on a trade, and there you go. Now try to beat that with a winning trade every single time. Granted, again, strategy dependent, that number's going to change, but holy crap, we got up to 30? Nice. Hit the like button, guys. Go, hit it. Keep hitting it. Get more people. All we need is 5 more people. We can finally give these damn things away. I'll even give you the choice. We almost got there when we did the giveaway. I did not think we would even get close today. All right. Evan doesn't time and sales build the chart. Holy crap, what just happened? Are you guys really talking that much? You guys are crazy. Where am I? I'm like way up here. All right, let me try to speed read. I'll only answer like the most important stuff. Time and sales shows more on the chart. The chart does not print sales less than 100 shares. That's not true. You can have time and sales print everything. To use them, just use the price and the size. That's all I have. A couple of them. It's a perfect nickname. Yeah, Tinker Tim. The only reason I'm tinkering now is really just to perfect the strat because it's still new. It's not to change anything. It's just to figure out how to make it the best. It's not I lost and I'm trying to figure it out. If anything, the beginning of this week was absolutely hard. Or the beginning of just using this strat has been absolutely horrible. I couldn't find a winner. But when you go and look at the charts, no pullback, no money. And just all of those charts, there was just no pullback. So it wasn't the strategy. It was just the charts were not doing. And the reason I was convicted that it wasn't the strategy is because I've traded the exact same way using the front side thousands of times at this point that I knew that charts don't normally do what these charts were doing. It was a very abnormal couple of weeks that we've been in where we just haven't been getting the pullbacks. Hi, Zishan. I've never seen a candle print less than 100 shares. I mean, you shouldn't be looking at a chart that has that capability anyway, right? A trading chimera? That's a Pokemon, right? I'm not a Pokemon person. I'm pretty sure I've heard that name before. Ooh, GDT with the cool emotes. If you guys want those, hit the join button down below. So, 2 Saturdays a month, we do strategy talk where we don't really BS, kind of like we do here on the Friday Night Live stream. I don't drink and all that good stuff. We just kind of go through strategy talk, one-on-one type stuff. If you're interested, it's more of a way to support the channel, and it's just a way for me to try to give back more than I already do. Because I do kind of do this stuff for free, and I give away everything I do make from the channel. I give back. I gave away a gift card today. I forget the name of the guy that won it. Jake. I think it was. Is it a P? I'm gonna have to go look at it. P. Oh yeah, it was Paul. That's what it was. Paul. I forget the name. He found. I literally posted the video, and 2 minutes later, I got the email saying that it was received, and I was like, Jesus. But I did put it at the beginning, and it was basically in the intro, so I was kind of expecting someone to find it right away. But I didn't think it would be. I don't know. I didn't think people actually like click to watch my video that quick. I started with 1,000, got to 270, ouchie. Then reloaded back to 1,000 again and went to 220. Ugh, I did not reload again. Been 3 months now. I'm at 420. Well, yeah, if you're losing, I mean, honestly, with that small of an account, I highly recommend just paper trading, man. It's really not worth it to just keep loading up 1,000 because you're really putting yourself in a hole to begin with. I don't recommend anyone starting less than $3,000. I say 2,500 is the minimum. Just anything less than that, you're just really starting. You're basically, instead of starting on flat level and digging a hole, you're literally just jumping in a hole to start. And I don't recommend it. You're better off just really perfecting your strategy on paper. Even though it sucks, I know, trust me, I've been there. But sometimes, hey, it happens. Or just go to one of the free cash accounts, whether it's Thinkorswim, E-Trade, or something like that, and just really down your share size so that you're not paying commissions, you're not paying fees, and all you're paying for is, your education, your tuition. But at least you're also using much smaller share size. Everything must be planned ahead. Does everyone still use a time chart? The new young future traders have switched to range charts, it seems. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't even know what that means. Soon I'll be above 500 and I will have 4x leverage and can short too. I mean, that's a positive, but I still recommend what I did, or what I did recommend, I still recommend. Everything it must be but adjusted if needed. Oh, you're talking about getting into a trade? Yeah, like I said, before you get into any trade, you should have a plan. You shouldn't just load up a chart and then just jump in. I mean, you can, just based off the price action, once you get to the point where you feel comfortable doing that. But really, when you pull up a chart, you should take the 5-10 seconds once you get really good at it to, flip to the daily, see if you're at a key level, if you're in a gap. Is it on earnings? There's just a bunch of quick things that you can do to put yourself in a better situation. Every time I do that, okay. So I'm down. I can stop scrolling now. Okay. Congrats, Sammy, for growing your account. It's not easy. It's true. Sustained for the last 3 months, trading every day and reaching 420. Are you trying to say something here with that 420? Constantine, good morning, sir. Happy Saturday. Sad that you get no trading today. Yeah, and said the same thing I just said. Size down. Yep. I mean, Biz is right. And Zishan, you're not losing, which is good. And risk management is the key to success. I agree. Vincenzo, time charts for life. Risk management is the key to life. It's so true. Even outside of trading, you learn so many things from trading. And I've only been doing this for almost 2 years. I can't tell you how much I apply to my real life just from trading, whether it be the emotions, whether it just be like reading a situation. Like there's just so much that you can apply. Risk management, when it comes to like, there'll be times where I'm like, should we go out and eat tonight? And I'm just like, what's the risk of me if I spend money eating out that the wife's going to get mad at me? But yeah, it definitely changes your thinking. That's for sure. I trade with one screen, not so bad. Yeah, you can. It's not, I mean, it's not impossible, obviously. It's very tough, but I've learned a lot watching Ross GDT and other folks. Now I've subscribed here too. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. I'm surprised none of those alerts came through. If you guys did, usually they do. I wonder if is my sound even on? Did it come through and I just didn't notice it? Is that on? I can't read it. A lot of people started with the raw style, myself included, and it almost always ends the same. Yep, I was the same way. I did. I paper traded for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I got on, I watched a boatload of YouTube videos, mainly Ross, and I started paper trading for 2 weeks, and I said, this is easy. I loaded up $5,000 into a CMEG account, or SureTrader account, sorry. And first day, 13? I want to say it was like $1,350. $1,350 gone. First day. Ugh. Try and trade like Ross. Don't do it. There's a reason that he makes the money that he does. It's disgusting. It's a tough way to make an easy living. So true, Vincenzo. I like that saying. It's a tough way to make an easy living. We're going to have to use that one in the future. 4 monitors. Oh, yeah, Evan finally responded. 4 monitors, one's a 50-inch. Holy crap. I have a 65-inch right there. Obviously not going to use that for trade. I'd have to put the spy. I could put the spy up there. Usually I have. Oh well, now the kids aren't home when I'm trading, so that could be good. I don't know why anyone trades like Ross with less than 10,000 in their account. Just because he says it's possible. You can turn $583 or $573, whatever it was, into $1 million, man. Don't you know? $2 million now, right? I could definitely beat you without looking at my cards. Get out of here. I can't wait to play cards with you. I can't wait for the ISW Vegas trip. Whenever that finally happens, Brian. I'm pretty sure he's not here, but is what's his face on tonight? We got so close to 35. We always get to like 30 and we just never get there. It's so frustrating. One of these days it'll just take off. I got that feeling that it's gonna just take off. Nope. Didn't he already make that video? Oh, whatever. We'll figure that out later. Slang Tube Trader 2. Slang Tube Trader 2 GDT. I'm so confused what that means. Yeah, everything is a mental game. So true. Had a good raid in EFT. Now whiskey time. Whiskey. Derek Jeter, same thing. Yeah, Derek Jeter. I would just use Ichiro as a good example because that dude could just hit the ball. That dude he never ever, when he stepped up to the plate, when Ichiro stepped up to the plate, he never once thought that he was going to hit a home run. His home runs that he hit were accidents. Every single one of them. He never once stepped up to that plate thinking I'm going to hit a home run. I can guarantee you that there's been times in Jeter's career where he's stepped up to that plate and said, I'm going to hit a home run. But not one time, I guarantee not one time Ichiro stepped up to that plate he thought he was going to hit a home run. Not once. I wonder how many home runs did he hit? Ichiro home runs. He hit 117 home runs. And he did that by always swinging for base hits. 117 home runs. If you go watch most of his home runs, they're like just normal swings, him trying to hit a base hit, and they just go. It's crazy. And you're going to have trades like that, right? You're going to have trades where you just hit it, looking for the base hit, and that thing just goes. And if you're patient enough to wait for it, you end up with a home run. It's still a good analogy. Fearless, the strategy talk is Saturday nights. I do it twice a month. So it's not this Saturday. We just did one last Saturday. So next Saturday, but you have to be a high-level support member. It's kind of a special thing. It's a way for people to support the channel, but also get something back for doing so. So 2 Saturdays a month, we take an hour from 9 to 10, and we just literally, we show up, we talk strategy for a straight hour. It doesn't have to be my strategy. It can be your strategy, whatever it is, because I'm an advocate for the more strategies that you can learn, the more you can learn how other people trade, the most, like you can learn other people's edge and then use it to help your edge, right? So if you find value in learning other people's strategies, that's awesome. And I feel like I've been around the block a few times since I started trading, where I've tried literally everything. Tried support resistance, EMAs, Bollinger Bands, alligator indicators, VWAP, fades, what, you name it, I've tried it. Breakouts, just whatever. I've tried it. And so I feel like at this point, I'm fairly knowledgeable enough to where if there's somebody that's a little confused with what direction to go with their strategy, that we can hop in there and try to fine tune it a little bit, because everyone knows I'm good at tinkering. Babe Ruth was the strikeout king, yeah, but he hit a lot of home runs. Home runs are the only reason I trade. If home runs weren't possible, then I'd get a job. All right. Hey, if that's your edge, you do you, man. Moneyball. So, yeah, that was such a good movie. With 420 in my account, no leverage to short, I just play the ball for a home run. It's very easy when you're mentally prepared to hit a home run. It's different mindset altogether. Well, yeah, if you're looking for a home run every time, you have to be patient. So it's not, if you don't mind losing the money trying to hit home runs, you're going to learn how to be patient. That's for sure. You're also going to learn how to lose a lot too. Just caught Kodak and felt amazing. Nice. Right now I only pay for 50 cents and more. Oh, gotcha. Scalping and holding long is definitely different, but that's why I watch candle patterns level 2 and time and sales for exits. Each trade is different. So true. Every trade is different. Is it sad I'm thinking about trading right now? No, that's why we're doing this. We do the Friday night live stream to give us that one last little hurrah before we have to let it go for the weekend, right? That's why we're here. That's why I like to say. I like get your last little dose of the market before we gotta get out of here and do normal weekend stuff. Who wants to spend time with the family and cook out on the grill and swim in the pool? Who wants to do that stuff? It changes your thinking. Yeah, I remember. I saw. Oh yeah, I think I said that, and then that's funny that you said that too. Choosing the right women is serious risk management. There's a Reddit post. Hold on. This guy knows about long-term investments. There's a picture. This is gonna be rude, because I don't want you to think I'm being rude here, but this was the Reddit. Let me see if I wonder if it'll actually pull it up on Reddit. Okay, so it was on Wall Street Bets. Hopefully this doesn't demonetize me for whatever reason, but here's the picture, and it says this guy knows about long-term investments, and as you can kind of correlate why that is, but that cracked me up. I don't know why it cracked me up, but it did when I saw it. GDT, yeah. Not choosing a woman is risk management. Choosing is risky. Boom. Back. What did I miss? You missed, I think I had said something that your profit factor was infinity. Oh, you missed me calling you the Holy Grail. I told people to stop looking for the Holy Grail because it's not a thing. It's you. It's a person. And I think somebody asked about the intensity stock watch scanners, and you weren't here to kind of answer, so GDT did. I think that's about what you missed. 4K definition screens are godly. I run 20 charts fully, see everything on the 50-inch, and trade and watch list on smaller ones. Okay, that sounds solid. I actually want to see a picture of that. Can you send me a picture of that on Discord? I like to spend private time looking at people's setups. It makes me happy. How do I make sure my TV can be used as a monitor? Seriously? Get out of here, Vincenzo. Oh, yeah, and Vegas. Yeah. I said I'm waiting for you to get us all to Vegas. 4K trading is cheating. That's kind of funny. I also trade on a 4K screen. Yeah, mine is not 4K. I don't even know what mine is. It's a really nice monitor, though. I know I got the 100 hertz. I could have went for the 120 or even the 166, but I said 100 is enough for what I need it for. You're in Vegas where all the casinos are closing up again? Liar. Yeah, that's so true. Strategy is simple. Buy low, sell high. Repeat. I get up at 7:30 a.m. glued to the scanner for breakouts, home runs. I also go to stocks that have dropped more than 20-25% in one shot. PR news I am on top of. Sounds like quite a few edges there. I'm stuck at 1600 resolution. What is mine? That got me curious. Oops, I had the wrong one there. Oh, it tells you 3440 by, what is it, 19? I hit the wrong one again. That's not the right one either. What the heck? I thought it was. Is it in the control panel? Yep. So it was 1440. 1340 by 1440. Yeah, that's what. This is what my setup looks like. So I have 5 monitors in front of me. I got the big one on the bottom, and then I got 24 inches. This is a 32 inch. And these are 4 24 inches. And then I have my TV. I don't know why the TV one's so small. That's a 65-inch TV. I guess it's just the standard size that it puts for one that it doesn't know the size, I guess. The best thing about the ISW scanner, I could sit down at 9:29 and be ready to trade. LOL and do. I get home when only my oldest was going to school. I was getting home at 9:25. Like when I was starting my live streams, you guys don't realize I was literally walking in the door, coming over here and hitting like go live or whatever, like, and I was ready to trade. I don't have watch lists. I don't have like charts up. I mean, you could use the bear scan watch list to get some charts up, or the gap list if you want. I just let the scanner do its thing. I just let them find it, because a lot of times you have these charts up and they don't end up doing what you wanted them to do in the first place. It's like all these people will spend all night and all morning, finding these tickers that they want to trade, and then there's gonna be days where none of them do anything that you wanted, and then what? You just don't trade. So scanners work for me. I bought Hertz around 70 cents and sold $1.30. If I had bought and kept it for 2 days, I would have been at $2,000 last month. What? This thing's still going up? What the heck's going on? Are they not going bankrupt? Oh wait, this is HT. I forgot to hit the Z. Okay, that's more like it. I was like, what the heck's going on? Yeah. Whatever. I don't mess with those kind of stocks. I wish I was in Vegas. My best friend, he lives out in San Francisco now. He just told me the other day that they're finally picking a date for getting married, which is June of next year, and he wants to do a destination wedding to like Tahoe or something like that. But for his bachelor party, he wants to go down to Mexico. And yeah, so I've been thinking of, because the wedding, he wants to do it on like a Wednesday. He wants to make it like a week event kind of thing. And then Mexico, he wants to do, I think he just wants to do a weekend for his bachelor party, but I don't know. But that should be a fun time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're in bankruptcy. At least I thought they were. Yeah, holding bankrupt companies overnight could definitely be a way to blow up your account. I mean, he bought it at 70 cents, so if you only put in what you're comfortable with losing if it goes to zero, then so be it. GDT, I know, right? I have told him. I bought LK too. Glad I didn't hold that long. Wasn't LK the one that what's his face pumped forever? Guy Gentile. I think it was No, LK's luck. That was luck. That's the Lucky Coffee. The one that had that. Yeah, that they like sold. Wasn't that the guy that reported like billions of dollars in false profits or something? Wasn't it way higher than this? Oh, it was up there at 50. I thought it made a way bigger drop than that though. No, I guess not. Did this IPO right here? Yeah, I guess so. I could have swore it made a much bigger drop than this when they found out about that, but maybe this was the drop. But I thought it wasn't. Was it during the beginning of all of this that went on? I could have swore that that was way before that. Anyway, people still get married. Yeah, I told the wife, I was like, if we ever get divorced for whatever reason, you will not see me get married again. And it wasn't like a respect kind of thing or whatever. It was just I wouldn't want to go through this again. Yep, GDT's got the right idea there. One and done. Yeah, I know LK was the one with the fake accounting numbers, but I for some reason I thought the drop was like way bigger than this. And I thought it was before here, but I mean, obviously not. All right, finally caught up in the chat now that we lost a bunch of people. We were at 30. That's crazy. Can I see? I want to, during the stream, can you see the max? Because it only just tells me the concurrent. I guess I can see it here. So we actually got the 32. We were so close. Oh, well. Nobody likes me. I don't think we ever actually went through. I mean, there isn't that many. Yeah, I didn't go through the rest of them. PRPL. I guess we can just look at them real quick. I actually believe B and I went long LK on that first day drop. Made some monies. Made some tendies. Let me fix that for you, GDT. 1 in quota. 20 and done. What's the scene with squirrel trading? I gave him a chance, but hey, whatever. I had so many people coming to me, oh, do you think he's paper trading? Do you think he's doing that? And so I went and did my little bit of research, and it was pretty obvious. So, I mean, if you can't see it yourself, then I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna get into all that. LNKD, was that something I traded, or you telling me to look at it? No, it's not on my list. What is LNKD? Where did my charts go? Why is the 2 minute, 5 minute? None of these are. What the heck is going on here? Only the daily and the 60. Maybe the weekly too. Yeah. Okay. LNKD. Okay, now the daily doesn't work on that. Is that a stock? I don't try to prove everyone's on paper. I just tell people when they are on paper. I don't try to prove anything. It's just obvious to me. I mean, when you're trading on an account and you make $1,000 and you make it seem normal, and then you open up a small account challenge to relate to your subscriber base on YouTube, and you're acting 10 times more nervous losing $50 than you were when you were down $700-800 on a given trade when you were on Thinkorswim, it's just so obvious. And then somebody found proof, so it doesn't even matter what I think. The proof is in the pudding, especially when the proof is just right there for you to see. Right? Well, I remember watching one of his videos, and he even said that he funded the CMEG account with YouTube money. So I remember he like said it as a joke, like trying to make it sound that way, because I think he was like, "Oh, please like and subscribe it, blah 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 blah," and he was like, "And I need that YouTube money." And he was like, "That's how I funded my account," and he ha ha ha, like he started like he was playing. I'm almost pretty positive that he was telling the truth. All right, the spy works. What the heck? I don't know. Are those just not? I know LK is a ticker. Yeah. So why is it not letting me load? Let me try reloading the broker. Chart study. I don't know. I'm confused. Where did my check go? Can we ever become Ross? Probably not. Ross is in such a he's in a different area than we are. He has a niche that is not possible to replicate. I mean, I'm sure it's possible to replicate, but he's so far. Like, if somebody else came along and tried to be Ross, they would end up probably getting thrown in jail. I'm just saying. That would be my. Oh, is LK delisted? Then why does it come up? Oh, I guess it comes up on the daily because. No, June. Yeah, it looks like it did. Huh. Yeah, the last day was June 26th. Good call. I didn't even think of that one. Oops. Can any one of us become that successful? Well, okay. So you can become as successful as him, but you're not going to be able to trade like he does. You cannot trade a liquid, low float stocks like he does with that kind of size. It's just impossible without a chat room. I mean, I didn't want to start that without being able to finish it, so I just had to say it. But it's true. God, why do I keep clicking that? And I know why it's doing it, because I just have to do this because I forgot I reloaded it. So that's my fault. I'm just being dumb. It's getting late. I only drank half of one of these. I made this one pretty strong, though. I don't have access to OTC stocks. I think you have to pay extra for that. I don't pay for them. Why can't we be that quick? Just have the e-signal and be quick with hotkeys. Why can't we do this, man? Go ahead, try it. You never know. You might be the next Ross Cameron. Ross Cameron Jr. We'll call you Sammy Ross Jr. Sharma. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, hey, if you really want to try it, go for it. There's only one way to find out if you can't do it, right? CWU. I see what you did there. I see the W. But now I'm curious. CW. Nope, not a ticker. I'm pretty sure I can't. LKNCY. Yeah, I can't see. What was that with PRPO? Look at that move. That would have been a good one to hold overnight, huh? I think that one stopped me out too. That was PRPL. Didn't I play PRPO? No, maybe I didn't. It was PRPL. Sent, can you link to the Discord? I wonder, does this still work? I don't know if that works or not. Find out in a second. Yep, there it is. I thought I set that up. If it was as easy to do what Ross is doing, I mean, don't you think everyone would be doing it? I mean, I'm not trying to be an ass or anything, but there's a reason why almost nobody makes it, because everyone shows up thinking that they can just do, like, all you do is hit buy and sell. Yeah, it is that easy. All you gotta do is buy low and sell high. It's not hard, right? You just pick a spot, it's low, you buy, and then when it goes up higher, you sell. You make money. Okay, well, go do it. Do it over and over and over again. Do it consistently. Do it for more than a month. Do it for more than a week. Do it for more than a month. Do it for more than a year. Do it for 10 years. Do it. If you can do it, then you're going to be successful. My phone's talking to me. Top results. What did I ask? Let's see. Do it over and over and over and over again. Do it consistently. Do it for more than a month. Do it for more than a week. It was somehow, for some reason, it was listening to me. With Lightspeed Broker, 10-sec e-signal charts, and perfection with hotkeys, I think it's possible. Okay. Go ahead. Try it. Let me know how you do. Seriously. If you think that's your edge, like I said, there's only one way to find out if it's not. But yeah, Lightspeed is pretty awesome. I just was talking to David about GDT's video today, how he got in. What was your second trade, GDT? Not Zen. What was the other one? I could go look, but you're here, so I'll ask. Roku, yeah, that was it. Or no, it wasn't. It had to be Zen, because I don't think it was. It had to be. Did you add to Zen? Let me just go look real quick. No, yeah, it was. Was it Roku? Yeah, it was Roku. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was cheaper. I forgot you played it on this move here. That's why I didn't see it. So this move was happening. Was it this candle? Yeah, it was this candle here. And the price was up at like 157.60, and the bid was down at like 157.10. Now, he was looking to add, and he hit the inside ask button, which was at 157.50, and he hit it, and he got filled. There is not a chance in the world that I could do that on CMEG and get that fill. The only way I'm getting an ad there is if I put the price above the ask and it goes up and it fills me that way, or if I just hit the bid. And usually, to guarantee you get an ad, you have to hit the bid. And the bid at that time was 40 cents lower than what GDT got on Lightspeed just by hitting inside the bid. So I was very jealous. Very jealous. Biz, the only time I've ever swing traded was back when I was a horrible trader and I held positions overnight because I was losing in them. Or when the SPY made the original dump, I actually bought shares of 8 different companies on this day at the bottom. Like as the SPY was at the bottom of this candle, I bought. And then when it pumped back up, I sold everything. I want to say it was actually on this day because I had said, okay, it looks like the SPY is finally ready to come back down, because I was a little confused why the SPY pushed up like it did. And I made, it was something stupid. It was like 500% on most of the, but I only had starter positions because when I was literally, as this move was happening, I think it was like right around here, I took $2,000 out of my CMEG account and put it on Webull with the intentions of buying where I thought was low, but I was planning on scaling into the positions. So I took $2,000, I found 10 stocks, and I was planning on putting, I guess it'd be $200 into each. So I took $50 and was buying what $50 could buy me of each of these stocks. And I was planning to scale into these stocks. Actually, I think it was $3,000 because I feel like I had more money that I was putting in. I don't remember exactly. But it was the casinos, the airlines, and the cruise lines. Those were the main. It was 10 of those. It was those 3 categories that I bought. And it was literally on this day. I just, for some reason, I was like, all right, today's the day I'm going to start these positions. And I only got one ad, I think, on like 3. I want to say it was like 3 of the stocks that I had, and then they just took off. And then I think when they started to come back down, I was like, I can't not take profits here. And it was only on my starter position, unfortunately, because I was planning to add as this went down. But I literally bottom ticked the damn market, and I never got a chance to add. So I didn't really make as much as I wanted to. And the overall goal was to hold for them to all go back at least 50% of the way. But if you start looking at some of these companies like CCL, I mean, I could probably bring it. I think I still have it on my desktop. Hold on. I can tell you what I bought in at on these stocks. I'm pretty sure I have it on here. Maybe I put it in my trading folder. Oh, I was like, where is it? Okay. Yep, here, long-term hold stocks. So I'm going to move this over, but these were the ones. So I had CCL was the first one. My first fill on this was at 11:32. So as you can see, I'm pretty sure this one. I know it was on that day. What day was that on the SPY? Because I know it was that day. So 323. CCL. So 323. So it was on this candle right here. So Carnival had already went down and made some crazy lows. And I remember telling myself if this thing got down below 10 again, once I had money in there, I was going to get some. And it just never did. By the time I got my money, because this was the first day I even got money in there. So that was the first day that I could even trade. It just so happened to be the same day that the market was at its lows. But my first entry on CCL was 11:32 on Toll Brothers. So this was actually a building company. And I did a bunch of research on these. I found ones that had basically the least amount of chance of going bankrupt if what is happening actually happened. And so far, they seem to be doing all right. So 323. This one we had an entry of 1558. So we were actually near the top of that day on this entry. Because I'm pretty sure we actually entered in the morning, and I think this thing actually fell the rest of the day. We were actually down on this position, but then you can see the next day that thing took off with the market. Under Armour was another one. We entered this one. This was actually, I think, our smallest winner out of all of them because this thing just never really went. 715 was our entry on that one. MGM, we were in at 910, so 323. So right here, we were pretty much near the bottom of that one. So 910, Delta, 323. Right here, we got in this one 2095. So we're near the bottom of that candle too. That's what I'm saying. So it was like, I'm pretty sure this day, let's see, the SPY. Pretty sure it was this first day that it started. So it was the 31st. What was it? And as you can see, yeah, because I mean, these things started to come back down, even though the SPY was still going up. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, they're trying to follow the SPY, they're not. And I just remember I started taking, I took all of it off, obviously, because I was like, I'll just get back in if it wants to go lower. And I never did get back in. RC, because I honestly thought when they started coming back down, the SPY was going to tank and go even lower. That's just kind of what it felt like it was going to do, which I still don't understand how it didn't, but whatever. RCL 2327, which was 23, here it is, 2327. So we were near the bottom of that candle. American Airlines, we got in at 1033, which was pretty much the bottom almost of this one. 1001 was the bottom here. We almost nailed the bottom. This one actually did end up going lower a couple times. Play. And like I said, my intention with these was to hold very long term, but they gained so much of it back in such a short period of time, it was almost impossible not to take it. This was the last one. We took Play at 775. This is Dave & Buster's. 323. So right there. So we got that at 775. So it was near the bottom of that candle too. So those are the ones I took. I wanted to hold these longer, but like I said, it was just such a big pop, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And there was no way I thought it was going to hold, especially because everything was closing. It was like, how can these be going up? They're closed. It made no sense to me. The cruise lines literally came out and said, hey, we're suspending cruises until whatever day it was, and yet their stock was still going up. I was like, what is going on? But everything was following the market for quite some time. But, I mean, this is literally Trump and the Fed. I mean, it makes zero sense. Like, on this move here, it started to come back down. I thought this thing was going to come back down and try to even go lower. But they stepped in, and, I mean, this is, I don't know. It's history in the making, that's for sure. Man, you guys talked a lot. Someone is always stuck at the top of every run. That's how the market works. That's true. It is possible but it's not easy to get that to that point. Yeah, like I said, it's very possible to become what Ross is, but I'm just gonna say Ross has an advantage. It's plain to anybody that's been trading for more than 6 months, that is starting to get a clue outside of what they're doing. You'd be able to tell that Ross obviously has an advantage. His edge is just, it's an edge that none of us have access to. If you're a teacher, it matters not how good you do. Your efficiency is based on the average success of the combined students, and not a few cherry picked. Most students should have success. That I couldn't agree with more, Vincenzo. And I guarantee 90% of the people that go into that room come out of that room with less money than they went into that room with. And that is probably to be said for a lot of the gurus on YouTube. So why is Ross always posting his gains and not the average student's gain? That's very true. That's a good point. Yeah, GDT, that's exactly probably why you're not afraid of spreads. So jealous, again, still about, I remember that was from earlier, talking about Roku. One day. CNBC sucks, Trump rocks. If it was Trump, we would never have seen the V-shaped recovery. By the way, I have no political affiliation. Yeah, me neither. I don't do politics. But the country is literally closed. It's been closed since back in here. How is this possible? Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Exactly. Where's all the I always forget that guy's name. What's the guy's name that does that? He's behind the machine. Fireman Drew from the Discord posts those images all the time. Let's see, from fire medic. Oh, I gotta fire. Why is that not working? From fire medic Drew. Why is that not working? I don't know why that's not working. All right, has image. How about we just do that? Whatever. I'm not gonna go look for it. But PAL. That's it. It just cracks me up. All those ones of him printing the printing the money. It's so funny. You're still in oil? Dang, nice. I think that's been going up, hasn't it? All the ETFs I traded are gone. Yeah, I can't believe TVIX is gone. That was one of Brian's bread and butter stocks. I remember he was in at like 9 something. Brian, are you still here? What was your average on TVIX? It was like 9 something. I don't know what exactly, but I just remember him holding that, and he was covering down in the 300s or something. I was just like, holy crap. And now GDT's an oil tycoon. He's going to move to Saudi Arabia or something soon. UCO. Nice. I mean, that definitely has potential. Obviously, look at all that volume. That is nuts. 563 million. I remember that day. Negative oil prices. According to technicals, markets and overall valuations and going up to the next level. I'm confused. What do you, oh, you're saying on the SPY? Let's scroll out some here. Let's go back and look at history on the SPY. Let's do the weekly. It'll be much cleaner. Go back and actually see it a little bit. Let me X out of this. So 2000, I was trying to get back to 2008 because that was where the real estate crash happened. So there's that. Just out of curiosity, let's see. I mean, it almost looks the same, right? Every time there's been some kind of craziness, there's been a V. It is pretty crazy. It just goes to show you don't invest in companies, just invest in the freaking market itself. It definitely took a lot longer for 2008. I mean, look at this. This was within a couple months. It's just insane. Like, look how long this took to kind of ease its way back up. I mean, even so, look at the highs were here. And it took from the bottom was here in March of 2009. It took until April of 2013 to get back there. This happened in March of 2020, and it's July of 2020, and we're almost already there. That's disgusting. That's crazy. Like, just let that sink in. This took over 4 years to get back to the highs. It's taking us 4 months. Just like, what the hell? Doesn't make any sense. And this was a real estate crisis. The United States is literally shut down. It was literally shut down. Like, what the heck? It just I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. That's why I am who I am, and I'm not, you know, some famous guy that can predict the stock market. What did I miss here? Yeah, my patience when because like I said, when I bought everything on that dip, my plan was to hold for a very long time, but things got irrational like right away, and it was impossible not to take those gains, and I was just like, I just gotta take it. You can thank Trump for Kodak, WKHS, mRNA, and I forget the other one that he pumped. Well, mRNA, they're the leading company right now for the vaccine, supposedly, right? That's why they took off. I mean, this thing absolutely skyrocketed once they started talking about them being able to possibly have a vaccine or whatever. Yeah, it went from 20s all the way up there to almost 100. Yeah, that Kodak, man, that thing was nuts. That was just a straight short squeeze. AMD, man, that thing went pretty nutso too. This was earnings, and then Tesla. I mean, we looked at that earlier. This thing is just stupid. Remember when Elon? What was the price when Elon said that the price of Tesla was too high? Wasn't it like 7 something, or 7 or 8? I forget what it was exactly. My taxes will pay for that recovery. I think everyone's taxes for quite some time are going to be paying for that. Yeah, Apple, that thing went nuts too. That thing went crazy after earnings. I actually said, I wonder 920 for TVIX. Yeah, that's crazy. So Brian was in at 920 short, obviously, on TVIX. I don't remember where he was covering, but I want to say it was something down in like the 300s. Like, it's fine. Obviously not. He didn't hold full position there, I'm sure. But I remember him saying that he was taking some profits down here. I was just like, holy crap. You should have held some, Brian. They got delisted. Fun fact, I got tested yesterday. Nice. Hey, was it for a reason, or you just got tested just to get tested, or was it work related? I could have borrowed and put in the money. I witnessed 2008 crash too. I knew everything will be fine eventually. But that's the thing. Like I said, the market, the SPY is the only thing doing this. I mean, you have your Amazon, you have all the stocks that don't necessarily require people to actually go to the stores and stuff like that to spend money. Those are doing fine. You know, your Google, Facebook, Amazon, like all the online type companies are doing just fine. It's really all the companies that had to shut down, and that's like their business. Anything that wasn't food related, you know, they're struggling. A lot of them are going out of business. I mean, look at Hertz. There was another big one. I don't think Sears was. I think Sears was already going out of business. There's Toys R Us, Chuck E. Cheese. There's so many companies that are just done. Like they require to work people to come in to their place of business and spend money, and we just can't do it right now. So yeah, that's what I'm getting at is the SPY looks like this, but like I said, when we were scrolling through all these other charts, look at the companies themselves. They haven't rebounded all the way back to where they were. CCL was up at 50, and they're down at 13. RCL, they were up at 130. They're down at 50. American Airlines, they're at 11. They were up at 31. Even Southwest, or this is not Southwest, this is Spirit. They were up at 45. They're down at 15. Southwest, they were up at 60. They're down at 30. Like there's like the casinos, MGM, they were up at 15. They're down at 3. Or that's MGM, sorry. Or MGMs. I mean, same like ratio for the most part. 33. They're down at 16. Toll Brothers, they actually did pretty well because they, Toll Brothers is one of those businesses where they can still build houses while this is all happening, which I don't know who's going to be buying them, but play Dave & Buster's. You have to go into Dave & Buster's to spend money, right? They were up at around 50. They're down at 12. Like, to me, the fact that they're even just chilling in this range, all this is just people expecting that eventually they're going to be okay, right? That the people that are buying in these ranges, they're saying, okay, this is a good investment. It's way undervalued. They were up here. Sure, if everything opens back up and people start to do things, like that'll probably be a good investment. And I personally am looking to still invest in most of these companies, but I'm just waiting for confirmation. I'm just waiting for this virus to go away. So, and then to me, these will all be good companies to invest in as long as they open up and they seem to be doing fine. Then sure. I mean, granted, like Amazon, you're never going to be able to invest in Amazon. This thing is just nuts. This thing literally was down at what? 1626 at its lows, and this thing is up. It hit a high of 33.44. Are you kidding me? That's disgusting. Just disgusting. Yeah, the tech stocks are just silly. Rebel Yell, never heard of it. I'm not a whiskey guy anymore. When I was drinking whiskey, I was just drinking Southern Comfort, Southern Comfort, and 7-Up or Sprite, one of the two. That was my drink of choice when I drank whiskey for the most part. And Jack, of course, Jack and Cokes. Of course, my paper hands weren't strong enough to hold. Wait, I bought 717.75 call when mRNA was trading at 60. 717 mRNA opened at 99. Well, bam. That's some money. Your paper. Why are you sealing your mouth? Oh, you can't tell us, so it was for work. Gotcha. With a Rebel Yell. That's a ride. Is it Hershey or King's Dominion? The Rebel Yell. I don't actually think it's there anymore. Do you think Amazon, Facebook, Google, Apple are monopolies? Well, they try to be. What was the was it TikTok? Yeah, they're like all the big tech companies are trying to come out with like their own version of TikTok now that TikTok is dying, and they're all doing it to try to steal TikTok's user base. I mean, I don't think they are monopolies. I think they would love to be, obviously. Shut up. This thing just goes down quicker and quicker the further I get into it. I don't think they're monopolies because I only use Google of the 4. Tell us about your worst trades and the learning lesson. That's a good question. I don't know if I can actually show it to you. I think I have the chart somewhere. I'm not going to go find it. Here, let me, what was the one that we were talking about earlier? FSOI. I can't believe I actually remember that. But it was this day. Yeah, here we go. All right. So there was a trade. That was a good question, Legend. I like that. This might be what we end on because this is getting kind of late. I'm getting kind of tired. And we're obviously not going to hit 35 people. We had our chance. We were at 32. We were so close yet again. So MTSI, The biggest thing I learned from it, just to tell you right off the top, was grinders. How to identify grinders and not to keep playing them. So what you're looking for is the intense move. FSLY gave you that intense move. But say you started this thing a little bit early, right? You got previous resistance down here, makes a big move. You can see right here on this candle, it came down and made a wick at 88.04. The high of this candle is 88.40. So say you felt the price action, stop here at 88.40, rejected at the $0.50, whatever. Starts to come back down. Say you get an entry at like 88.22. Obviously, you're not going to be happy with taking your profits here at 88, and it probably happened pretty quickly anyway. But say you're looking for, like half of this move back. So you're looking for at least like 87, 70s, maybe even you're looking for more than that, right? VWAP's all the way down here, et cetera, et cetera. So this thing starts to rip, right? Okay, well, if you're scaling in, not a big deal. You feel the top again. Look at this candle, 89.19. You can see it started to come back down. Say you felt the top here, and you ended up getting a second entry at, say, the break back down through 89. So we'll say 89 or 88.94. So now let's erase both of these candles. Well, your average will be right in here if you did a 1-1. So now your average is right in here, and you're looking for, let's say half of this move. So half of that move would be 88. And you might even be looking for more than that. Well, guess what? It comes down, pokes through your average a couple times, and it says, nope, we're not done yet. We're going to keep going higher. So it made this high, obviously, right through here. So you may have added here, may have not. I don't know. Depends on the kind of trader you are. But it goes high of day. So now up in here, you're faced with a decision. As this goes high of day, are you cutting, taking your loss? Because you just started this early, it didn't want to come back. The way you played the trade, it just didn't work out. Are you going to look to add? Well, what my chart looked like on MTSI, I'm actually going to try to get rid of these real quick. So what my chart looked like was this. I had an entry here. Let me make those a little bigger. An entry here, say here. And then instead of cutting, I decided that I tried to add here, predicting that it was going to double top, which it almost did, and it didn't. And it started, this is almost identical to the MTSI chart. It's giving me a little PTSD. So what I did when it broke high of day is I decided to cover half of my shares. And when I covered half of my shares, I had the idea that I was going to add those half back, looking for this thing to eventually roll over. I don't want to draw a line because I have to erase it. Well, I was looking for it to do that, right? What it ended up doing was exactly what you see. So it came up a little bit and it started to reject. So I added, right? Okay, it faked out. It's ready to come over. It's ready to fall back down. Nope. Okay, it didn't do it. So guess what we did? High of day, we covered half again. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We'll add back when we get there. When we feel the top. Okay, we're going to wait for more confirmation this time. Oh, here it is. All right, boom, added. So now our average, if you remember, was way down in here. And every time we added to this, okay, it probably brought it up just a little bit. And maybe on this ad, we're like somewhere around here. But this thing just keeps going. So what do? Breaks high of day again. All right, this sucks. Cover half again. Ah, man, look what it did. Look what it did. That was a fake out. And I'm pretty sure I could find the MTSI chart, and this is exactly what you'd be looking at. All right, it's finally breaking down here. We're gonna add again, and then I'm gonna explain this, but I'm pretty sure this last time it did something like this, and then it went high of day, and I covered the whole position, and I said that's enough, right? My average at this point was way down here. We're in a grinder, like it was just. At that time, I was on like a 28 trade win streak. I couldn't lose. I didn't want to lose. That was my way of trying not to lose. Take half, add back, take half, add back. Just taking realized loss, and just, trying to bring my average up to hopefully get a big winner. But at that point, when you keep doing that, your size is still what you had back here, and you would need a move to like down here if not even further, to make back what you already realized as a loss. And that's what I learned from this is when you get in the grinders, you shouldn't fight them. Right here, this first time it went high of day, that should just be a full cut. That's what I learned, because you're going to run into these a lot of times. You can look for it to be a fake out, maybe give it a little bit of room, see if it'll come back down. But then that second time it goes high of day, you just got to get out. You got to manage your risk. That is so important, because this trade on MTSI, this isn't MTSI. I swear it looks almost identical. It's kind of creepy. But after I got out of that trade, it did do this. It went high, but then right here, it actually ended up finally doing, like, it wasn't a straight line, but it started, doing its thing and coming back down. And I basically top ticked it. If I could have waited that little bit longer, I probably could have made a lot of that money back. But hey, that's not the point, right? It taught me my lesson. That's for sure. That was a trade that I'll never forget, because it basically blew me up. That was the day I basically blew up my account. I lost 50% of my account. I have a video of it if you want to go watch it. It's on my YouTube channel. Just go to the channel and go to the search function and type in MTSI, and you'll see it. I lost 50% of my account that day on one trade, and that should never happen. And yeah, there was a lot of lessons involved in there. Risk management was a huge one, and don't fight. Don't fight. If you're going to play the front side of moves, don't fight. It's that simple. That's all I did in this was fight. That's all I did. Just fought. So yeah, that was a good question. I like that. Solid question. Geez, where did you ask that question? I feel like I'm so far behind. Oh, there it was. Okay, so it wasn't that far. Okay. Microsoft buying TikTok? No? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that. Can't break through that overhead resistance on the Tim chart. What? Oh, that's so true. Stupid 35. It's funny, too, that you say that, because look, it is literally a chart. We got to 32. There it is. And last week we were at 30. Was it 34? We were one view away. Actually, I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before last week. I think last week it was more. I think we only got to like 20 something. He's getting stopped out. Yeah, I short squeezed myself. Yeah, basically. Here, let me, you can see I was looking up GDT's trade. Let's go your channel. Search. Just to show you the chart. Where is it? MTSI. Are you serious? All right, hold on. Maybe I didn't put MTSI in the title, so now it's going to make me go find it real quick. Wait, where's all my videos? Why did it stop at 4 months? Sort by why is it not finding it? I could have swore I put MTSI in the title. 50%. Let's go to the studio, see if I can find it that way. Videos. MTSI. Yes. Oh, there we go. I knew it was on there. For some reason, the search function just wasn't working. Okay. X out of that. I guess it's not gonna let me. Let's see, theater mode. Let's see if I can make this as big as I can. All right. So there's the chart. Tell me that doesn't look eerily similar to what we were just looking at. You know what? Let me try this. Let's see if this, there we go. That makes it a little bigger. All right, so look at that. Started, added, covered half, added back, covered half, added back, covered half at high day, added back, covered half at high day, added back, thinking that was it, added or covered half, added back, took some profit, I guess, trying to take, I don't know what I was doing, added back again, took some off, added back again, and then finally went high day again because I thought this was the last chance we had, covered, and then obviously I don't have the rest of the day, but this thing did end up coming back down towards like 15. So, yeah. That, I mean, tell me that doesn't look like exactly what I just charted out on FSLY. It was basically the same thing. See you, GDT. Have a good weekend, man. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to talk about anything. Buy me Escape from Tarkov, and maybe we'll play Tarkov. I did the same, very nicely explained. Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Yeah, that was definitely a lesson, that's for sure. Brad, what's up, man? I just saw you were in here. What's up? Yeah, CW. I don't know why I was doing that. It wasn't. The charts aren't coming up. My YouTube searches aren't coming up. I don't get it. Yeah, and that's why. I want to say, is it Jaya U? Is it Jaya U? Did I say that right? I've been avoiding saying it up until now. But he said these grinders are nightmares for reversal traders like me, and yeah, I agree. That's why I like having the set risk every single time now. It either works or it doesn't. What could have told you that the name was going to run all day? Oh, nothing. Nothing's going to... You don't know what a stock's going to do for the rest of the day. You don't know that it's going to do this. This thing could have literally, on this pullback, not only came back down to that previous resistance, it could have went low of day and just faded all day. You don't know what a stock's going to do. You have... Mark Douglas made a very good point. You literally, from the moment you hit that button, that was your impact on that stock. Now that you're in that trade, you have zero impact on what that ticker does. You're done. That's it. You're in the trade. You're along for the ride. You have no influence on what that stock does from the moment that you hit the button until you're out of the trade. Nothing. That's it. All you can do is look at a chart, use your edge, whatever your edge is, and you can put yourself in what you think is a high probability situation that you know which way the chart's going to go. But you don't actually know. There's times where positive news comes out and the stock goes down, and vice versa. Bad news comes out, stock goes up. There was a couple earnings this week where they beat and the stock went down. You don't know what's going to happen. You just don't. So the quicker you can kind of get that through your head and learn that you just don't know, the quicker you can manage your risk better. And those two go hand in hand. The quicker you can learn that you have no impact on the market and your bias means absolutely nothing to the market, the quicker you can realize that when the market starts to go against you, you should probably get out of your position within your set risk. Now, again, there's a huge difference between scaling into a position versus adding to a loser. What I was doing on MTSI and what I demonstrated here on FSLY was adding to a loser. If your plan as something is going up like FSLY on an intense move, say you started this thing early down here, your plan is to add into this as it keeps making that intense move with the intention of playing the pullback when it inevitably gets there. That's a plan. That's a strategy. That's an edge, right? That's an edge that works. But after that, once the move has happened, right? This was the move. It went up, it made the intense move, and it made a pullback. Now, whether that pullback comes down to a level like a previous resistance, which you see happen all the time, whether it comes back down to VWAP, which you see happen all the time, or whether it makes a small pullback, consolidates, and goes higher, we don't know. We don't know what that's going to do, right? We can measure the fibs. We can do whatever you want, whatever your edge is, we can do, right? We can put it on the chart, whether it's playing to the 50 fib, whether it's playing to the 38, whatever it is, you can do. But once it fails your strategy, whatever your strategy was, if it fails, that's where you exit the trade. Once you get past that point and you don't have a plan for what's next, and you're just fighting a stock and you're just irrationally throwing shares at a stock, you're just holding on for dear life, you're a deer in headlights, like you at that point are no longer trading your edge, right? It's gone. Your edge is gone. Look at this. If you're trading an intense move looking for a pullback, what does all this look like, right? If you're still in the trade up in here, that's not what I always say. To prevent revenge trading, after this thing goes high of day, if I was looking to get back into this, right, you just took a big loss. Say you took a big loss. Say you started this thing way down here and you ended up stopping at high of day and you took a big loss on it. Like obviously within your risk parameters, but it was still on the bigger side, and you wanted to get your money back from FSLY. Well, this thing never really made another move to really grant you getting back into this. And how do I say that? Because look at this move. You were excited to take this trade because this looks like an A+ setup, right? If you're trading an intense move looking for a pullback, this looks like an A+ setup. Does any of this look like an A+ setup? If you never took this trade on FSLY, would you even be looking at this chart and saying, I would like to trade this? Not a chance. There is nowhere in here that screams, I see an intense move, a pullback is coming. From this point on, when it goes high of day, this thing just grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds. There is no part of this after that, this section here, that screams anything, right? So your strategy is no longer valid for the rest of it. So you should never be trading in here. How many people do you know that end up taking trades on the same ticker just because, right? They just want to trade it because they were already trading it. Oh, I've read the price action. I know how this thing's trading now, blah, 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 blah. No. Step back. Take a look at that chart. Erase your arrows off of that chart and look at it from then on. Where that stock currently is, if none of these lines existed, and let's even scroll in a little bit. If you saw the chart from here on out, does this chart look like something you would trade? No, not a chance. I'm talking if this is your strategy, right? None of this looks the same. None of this looks anywhere close to this. So stay away from it, right? I didn't on MTSI. This is literally what MTSI looked like. You had the intense move. And LYV. LYV was kind of the same thing. LYV literally spiked up and then just went sideways. Just went sideways and just destroyed. It was like, I think I lost like 5, 6, I think it might even have been like $700 on LYV. That thing sucked. Same thing. But anyways, okay. I think I got that point across. Legend, you're asking some good questions, man. You should come around more often. Great stuff, thank you. In your last video, your P&L window was cropped. I know. I mean, I can... Oops. I showed it at the end. If you made it to the end of the video, I showed it to you anyway. But I didn't do it on purpose. I hit something on OBS, like I hit Zoom. I don't know what I did. I couldn't figure it out. I reloaded OBS and it worked fine. So I don't know. I must have hit something on my keyboard. My kids might have hit something. But when I loaded VLC up to find where the trades were so I could crop it in Adobe Pro, it was all zoomed in. So it was already done. I couldn't go back and obviously re-record live trades. So I just had to deal with it for today. But I'll have to check it before I start recording from now on just to make sure that it's not like that. But yeah, that was my trades from today. I think there's a fundamental reason mixed with some text that will tell you that a stock has a high probability. Well, yes and no. I mean, like I said, a stock's on earnings. So yeah, if the earnings were good, then yeah, there's a higher probability it's going to go up. Same thing if the earnings were bad, it's a higher probability it's going to go down. So that could be part of your edge. Do you only want to play earnings? Like, there's so many different edges out there. There's so many different strategies. Like, just you have to find the one that fits you and make it profitable. Do it over and over again. Be able to be consistent, right? The two things I preach on this channel, consistency and risk management. Those are the two things. If you can find an edge that is profitable and you can consistently trade it over and over again, day in, day out, and at the same time, make sure that you're keeping your risk management in check just in case you have a bad run, you're golden, right? You're always going to show up the next day because of your risk management. You're always going to have an edge that's profitable because you proved it. So just keep doing it over and over again. Just show up. It literally, when trading starts to get boring to you just a little bit, it's always going to be fun, right? There's that aspect of trading that just makes you keep coming back for more. But when trading starts to get a little boring to you, you're getting good at it. As bad as that sounds, that's the truth. Poker is a great example of that. When I started getting pretty good at poker, I've played poker pretty much since I was before 16, but I started playing for real money, like legitimately, when I was 16 online. But when you finally start getting good at something, it starts to tend to become a little bit boring, right? Because you're just getting good at it. Like you're getting used to doing it so much that it just starts to become second nature. So that's the point, right? This is we're here to make money. Sure, this could be fun, and there's people out there, and I don't know why, but they say it's not about the money. Well, the whole reason that most people get into the market is to make money, right? Making money is why we're here. Anyone that says that they're not here to make money, I don't really understand what their overall goal is. Like, if you're here just to have fun, just to trade, then I don't know, you could just do that on paper. You could just trade a demo account. Like, I don't really understand people that say that. But again, consistency, risk management. If you can do those two, you're going to last a lot longer than the 90% of people that don't last, right? You're going to get the screen time in. You're going to see the charts over and over again. You're going to see what a grinder looks like. You're going to see what, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. You're going to see, what was the one? What was the one we traded today? Shit, I remember the one we traded yesterday. You're going to see, was this today? No, yeah, this was yesterday. You're going to see charts that look like this. Like, you're going to see charts that do this, and you're just going to start to get used to it. You're going to start to see things over and over and over again, and it's going to start to just be normal, right? You're going to start to realize that, okay, a chart, when it does this, usually it does this. Now I have an edge because I know that it's highly probable to do this. And when you have scanners that basically do all that work for you, shout out to ISW. And if you're more interested in those, down in the description, then that's even better, right? ISW is a tool that you can use to show you these types of moves. Intensity Stockwatch Scanner. It's designed to find you the intense moves looking for a reversal, right? That sums up what the ISW scanners do. It's designed to bring up the charts early for you to determine if this is a chart that you like, if this is the intense kind of move that you're looking for. Do you think it's going to make a reversal here? That's what they're made for. I mean, there's other scanners too. There's the bear scan watch list. Those work too, but we're not going to get into the scanners. I feel like we talked about those a little bit earlier. But yeah, if you're someone that wants to just kind of show up and trade, you can do that. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that say you have to put in the chart time, and I don't disagree with that. You should be putting in the time looking at charts, but not for the reasons that they're saying. They're saying every night and every morning you need to be studying charts. You need to have a watch list. You need to do that. You don't need to do that. For their edge, you do. If you want that to be your edge, then yeah, you might have to do that. But if you're looking to be a show up and just go kind of guy, you can do that too. Like, there's thousands of different ways to make money in this market, and there's tools to do everything out there. So let me try to catch up. Yeah, I see Brian adding to what I'm saying, so I'm going to do that and then go backwards a little bit. Just to add to what Tim is saying, it has to be your edge, part of your belief system. My edge works perfectly for me. It might be tough for you. Likewise, your edge might work great for you. but nobody else can trade it the way that you do. It's so true. I think with that said, I'm probably going to get out of here because I can hear my son, and I know it's probably because of me. I was getting a little excited there. What would be your second go-to strategy behind intensity trading? Honestly, I'd still be looking for reversals, just not necessarily off of intense moves. Like, what was it? Pins today? I would just be looking for something with like a lot of confirmation. I would look for something that makes this chart looks sloppy. From a zoomed out angle, I would, well, even that looks sloppy. I wouldn't trade this chart. What was AMD? So what I would do is I would look for something like this, where it would make a low, come up, make a higher low, and then go up above there. So it's a much more risky trade in my opinion, because you've already got back the intense move part of it. But it's kind of a confirmation thing that, hey, we're probably going to go higher, right? We came down, tried to come back up, tried to go back down, didn't get there, made a higher low, and now we're going up higher. Same thing in reverse, right? Coming down, tried to come back up, and went lower. So right there could be an entry. On the bigger scale, like let's put this on the 5 minute. Comes up, higher low, comes up, finally comes down, and now it's making a lower high, and then right here technically it could be an entry, right? So I mean, there's so many different ways to trade. It's ridiculous. Thousands of ways to make and lose money out there. The only way that matters is the one that works for you. So true. Brian is the holy grail. Remember, I told you guys that. There are many gurus out there, but I intend to keep track of you. We'll be eager for those daily trading recap videos. Well, if you go back, Sammy, since I think it was like February 8th of last year, I've put out a video, I think, every single day. I think the only days I haven't put out videos are days I didn't trade or I was like really sick. But okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go check in on him because the wife obviously isn't coming out. Great Friday night live stream, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Always appreciate that as well. If you have any questions, hit me up in the Discord. You can find me on Twitter as well. And yeah, again, have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys Monday. Peace.